Hello Hero, it's Lucy Lannon. First things first, apologies for any sound disturbance during this reading. I'm filming basically when I can in terms of other clients, etc. And there are building works going on the same road as me, so apologies if you hear trucks, things clanging, gentlemen shouting at each other in very staunch colloquialisms, but it's just part of the territory for today, I'm afraid. We're here to explore your lunar reading for the Virgo Elder Moon, the last quarter moon of this particular set of lunations. If you haven't seen the previous 3 Elder Lunation readings, they are in a playlist which I will link down below. Highly recommend you look at the whole month for the context of this one. I'm not just saying that for views, but because it may be useful. If you are watching this, you're within half an hour of that lunation sequencing is what I want to say, so sequences may be relevant. And if you're seeing it at any other time just because it's popped up in your recommended or whatever, that may be a sign that whatever is contained in this reading is guidance for you over the next few days, regardless of whether those next few days are indeed in early December of 2023. My God, are we already in December? It feels absolutely crazy to me that this year has gone this fast. It has been action-packed. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to. For me, oh, that's interesting. For me, I've moved and a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like, what a time, what an intense thing. Oh, sorry, that's feedback for me. I don't think you're taking me very seriously. That's because I was pulling and thinking about something else at the same time, so we won't take that. But maybe there is a nudge at your end to take stuff more seriously. These are from my love deck. They may be addressed direct to you. They may well not. This is just so I can communicate in a more colloquial fashion than maybe tarot would give me. They're also not necessarily about love, so we'll see what the rest of the reading holds in terms of those. This green guy wants to come out, but so does this yellow guy. So with green guy and yellow guy as well, I'm hearing some of you might be Don't Hook Me, I'm Scared fans. Hello, I am one of you. We are all freaks. It's wonderful. It's just a confirmation for some of you that you're in the right place if you were skeptical about whether this reading is your bag. Okay. Hit me up with your favourite Don't Hook Me, I'm Scared quote in the comments. That would make my day. We're using the traditional Smith-Waite deck today because, frankly, it doesn't get enough use, right? Because everybody wants the fancy collector's decks these days, and I have many of those, and playlists about them are sort of happening on my channel and will get filled out over the next few. And you can also book with me with all my decks privately, but I feel like I never use this one, and I call it Sassy Boy because it really does give me the absolute truth, like unvarnished compared to the others. And I just think it's a shame that I never pull it out. So, so we're going with super traditional deck, which many of you will actually own. And I'm not apologising for it because it's good. This one, not this one, thank you. That's the other thing with this deck, he's always bloody clear, aren't you? Thank you kindly, mate. I don't know whether you guys do this, hit me up in the comments if you do, but I feel like I imagine my decks as people, and I don't know whether that's like a hangover from sort of Ramsay Duke style thinking of externalizing one's demons. Not literally, don't freak out, Christians. Or whether it's like, sorry, that wasn't for you, but it did fly away. Or whether it's like just actually speaking to the sort of animist nature of decks and how they do tend to have different personalities. When you read with them for a long time, you get a sense of like who's who. But long-winded way of saying, I feel like this deck is a fair-haired gay man who is a bit of an English gentleman and perhaps quite tall, but always gives the unvarnished truth in a way that gets him into trouble. I could go through my other decks and tell you who they are, and indeed I would love to know how you envisage your decks if you do anthropomorphize same. But that's the vibe I get from this deck. Maybe that describes you or someone you're dealing with. Let me know if it does. But yeah, I feel like I always imagine him when I'm dealing with this one in particular. Less so with my Aquarian and stuff, but that's, I suppose, because they're not very sort of, they feel a bit non-human and like ungendered and stuff, whereas things like the blood tarot is very much I'm going way too into this. The blood tarot is very much like a housewife with big hair who's like really welcoming, but also she's like low-key a cunning person. And then this guy is, like I say, super English, possibly privileged gay guy who gives the unvarnished truth and doesn't realise that not everybody loves his Brideshead Revisited style quips. Anyway. Let me know what your decks are like, right? We'll have a deck party. We've got an extra, by the way. So this will speak to the kind of nature of all of it. Somebody is not collaborating. I can tell you that straight off. Okay, so just to go over what we've got before I take a pause and have a quick cut with you. We've got Queen in the Light, which radiates the regal feminine. You may be in the legal field because of that slip. Uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Then we've got We're exploring new recipes and creating a vision board. Interesting combination. Then we've got Please just tell me how you fucking feel. I might have to cover that for the thumbnail. And then Let's move faster. We're in love. It's never too fast. Which we've had, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've had it in the elder cycle of lunars, but it may be the previous month, but we've had it recently. Anyway. Then we've got the Devil in the upright with the Two of Pentacles in the upright, Ten of Swords in the upright. Then we've got the Ace of Pentacles, a reversed Five of Swords, a reversed Eight of Swords, a Fool in reverse, a Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which speaks to last time's reading, and a Page of Cups in the upright. And all of these are clarified by the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Do not panic at reversals. They are just 78 additional meanings. And as I say, this particular deck is very sassy, so he will give a lens which is slightly negative in that sort of catty way. That doesn't mean that things are bad, it just gives me more information. So I'm going to sit with that information. There'll be a quick cut, which hopefully you won't feel. Alright, I wanted to say alright lads. So some of you may be male identified, perhaps more of you in this reading than I normally get. Or it could be that, as discussed, my deck in this particular vessel, shall we say, would probably begin with all right lads. It feels very sort of yuppie old money vibe when I say that. All of these bits are about collaboration, but it feels like, again, as with the last reading, we've got three distinct columns. And in this, they're not really pertaining to people so much as about different topics. So we've got a love column here, a money column here, and this is more kind of stuff on the inner and general circumstance. I should say, and I should have said at the beginning, that first up, I am not a legal or medical or financial professional, so anything you see in this is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm not liable for any changes you make as a result of this reading. Wink, wink. But also, I should say, not to be afraid of anything I do point out or anything like that. I don't know, I just get that feeling with you guys that there's a sense of a lack of collaboration, but also there's like a caution with that, and I think it's coming from your end. And I think there's a possibility it's leading to a great deal of procrastination. And I think normally you would be in your queen energy, any gender, any affiliation. It's just speaking to something with these qualities of radiating regality and using benevolence and benevolent authority, i.e. power through kindness, to protect the people around you. That is usually your role, usually a mode you're very happy in. I feel like this is following on from last time, like it's a mode that you're good in, but it's not really getting the recognition that it's been deserving, or people aren't cooperating in the same way that they used to. And that's leaving you nervous about things, which is pulling you out of how you would normally act. So depending on who you identified as in the columns from the last reading, this may pertain to your love life, it may pertain to other things, but it's like you've been so shunted out of your energy for the last part of this month. And what I'm pulled to say is that from last quarter over to new moon, you know, this balsamic phase, which lasts the longest, is about rest. I'm sorry, that's the wrong way around. I should have turned that. You may be feeling topsy-turvy at the moment. Yeah, it's the The equivalency in lunar time is of the solar time of year around Halloween, where we're reflecting on our ancestries, Day of the Dead type stuff. But we're also, the days are getting shorter, at least in my part of the world. We're maybe spending more time at home. We're being more reflective. We're examining the harvest of the summer and the autumn and sort of consolidating things and being more quiet, more reflective, more restful in general. And I think that's coming through here. But I also think that part of that response for you in these next few days until, sorry, just checked notes, until the 12th. So this is the period until the 12th, unless you're seeing it out of time. I think you'll be tempted to be in restfulness for the wrong reasons. And I'm not saying don't be restful, but what I'm saying is use it for reevaluation, use it for recuperation as it's meant to be in the balsamic period, rather than using it for avoidance. Because I think if you use it for what it's meant to be used for, you will easily slip back into your powers as a queen. And in my particular system of reading the tarot court cards, the queen is arguably more powerful than the king. It's just that the king fulfills a larger archetypal role, because I think of the queen as the kind of leader of the kingdom, while the king does the sleeping king under the mountain, Odin style, Jesus style sacrificial thing. That's very unique to me. So I needed to relay that. I needed to be the reader that you find, to say that, this queen energy for me in particular, and for the way I read tarot, is the power behind the throne. And that's not me saying, oh, women are superior or something like that. It's saying that the roles are very different, and the queen one is the fixed energy in my understanding rather than the mutable. And it's the prevailing power, while the undercurrent power, the broader archetypal hero's journey, operates through the more dynamic Sun King, right? So for me, the moon leads us, hence lunar readings, while the sun kind of does the broader picture stuff of how it is that we function in the universe. I hope that makes any kind of sense to you. But what I'm essentially saying with this is that your role is important, even if you feel that it's not as outwardly aggressive as other people make theirs, or if you don't have that direct sense of authority in the way that it's societally communicated, and instead you feel yourself to be a kinder, more benevolent force that feels sometimes powerless because of those qualities. You are not less powerful. Actually, Spirit is nudging me that you are more powerful for your kindness and for your position as what I consider to be a queen. And indeed, the man that I envisage with this deck is a queen, right, in that sense. So you might be as well. But it's like recognizing that your power is actually truly powerful, but there's some reason you're afraid to step into it. And I think that's because people haven't been cooperative of late. I would say from at least the beginning of the Elder cycle, which is sort of early November to now. Again, playlist link down below for the rest of the readings. So they might all be relevant, but this is the most relevant to the period between now and the 12th. And we've got, please just tell me how you effing feel, and let's move faster. We're in love, it's never too fast. I feel like you've been rushed along by the people around you. And I feel like they're finding it difficult to know how it is that you feel about stuff. And I'm hearing feeling ways about stuff. And that, I think it's Futurama reference, but it always comes in when somebody's operating too much in their King of Cups stoic energy, where they want to stay afloat over their feelings. So they're not actually communicating anything to the people around them. They're just like, oh yes, that makes me feel ways about stuff. Shove it down, shove it down. So there might be a bit of that in this as well, particularly in your procrastination activities. And what's being asked of you by Spirit at this time is to understand that, yeah, sometimes people aren't collaborative around you or cooperative, but even if they're rushing you along whilst they seem to be the thing that's holding you back, and that's very confusing, and there's a lot going on here, I think it's important for you to still state how you're doing, how it's going, right? And now I'm getting how it started, how it's going memes, so you might have been enjoying that in your time of perhaps slight overwhelm. But there's a need to communicate back where you stand in order that you can be given time to rest, even given by yourself, granting yourself permission to have a bit of respite in order to communicate more directly and to step back into Queen energy. That process may involve exploring new literal recipes, as in eating, nourishing the self in every sense, right? Very Cancerian kind of vibe with these two. But also with creating a vision board as it relates to recipes. So whether that's that you're a magical practitioner who uses recipe books, including the Bible, you know, spell books, grimoires of all kinds that specifically talk about certain herbs, certain chants, certain figures, right? So that could be your magical work, and there's a vision board stuff to be done around that. Or whether it's recipes for success, recipes for a better life, and then you're creating a vision board of the things that you would like to do. Because again, the Queen is about divine feminine, which sometimes is about stepping back into passivity, even just for a short moment, to say, these are the things I would like to receive, because I am the receiving energy. And as I receive, the giving masculine, in inverted commas, but genderless masculine energy, the yang to my yin, if you like, is able to function easier in their putting out into the world, right? Power behind the throne. It's by having a strong queen that the king can do his ordering around of troops, etc. That's a very basics metaphor, but I feel that it's been pushed here, and I feel that court dynamics are something to consider, whether or not the labels for them feel outdated, right? Gender dynamics may be particularly relevant at this time, but certainly what your role is in the wider tribe, the wider group, the wider chosen family is really on your mind at the moment, and I think it will be for the next few days. And the way to address that is not only to get clear about what you want, magically and physically. The fact that I didn't say what there makes me think you can't say what, right? But also to communicate more clearly with people, even uncooperative people, about where it is that we're all going next. And when I say we're all going, there is a leadership here, right? It might be more Jim Henson than it is Walt Disney. It might be more Gandhi than it is Napoleon. But it's still leadership, right? It's still, even if it's in more of a yin dynamic, and I don't mean to be appropriative when I say that, it's just really useful term for this. But if it's more lunar, it doesn't mean it's any less powerful than the solar. In fact, it can have more direct influence in the same way that we know people behave tidally at certain mood phases. It's more difficult to see how they behave at different times of year solar wise, right? The classic example is that during full moons, incidences of incidences in mental difference facilities tend to rise, right? Whereas you don't get that really with any solar time of year. People see Christmas and birthdays and whatever go by, and you don't see a sweeping change, whereas with the moon you do, because we're all whatever percent water, we're all very tidal, we're all ruled by the moon. So even though the sun has more of a planetary influence on the whole and helps us to grow things and helps us to eat, nourish and live, the moon has almost like more of an immediate influence on the human organism and indeed the personality. And that's something to bear in mind when you're considering this relationship between queen energy, lunar, and king energy, solar. I hope that wasn't over everyone's heads and or a bit much, but that is really underpinning all of this. So now we're going to go into individualistic stuff. I feel that you're coming out of some period of addiction, being changed to certain habits, being changed to certain behaviours. You will know, you do you, what that pertains to. For many of you, it's to do with sexuality, because we talked about that in the last lunar reading. But also I've done other readings recently on various subjects that have pointed to certain addictions to beliefs around things or things around money or whatever. So again, if you're a regular subscriber, thank you, I love you. But it's whatever you last had a reading about or to do with. And again, you're juggling behaving in a new and liberated way outside of this kind of paradigm or dynamic with how it is that you used to operate and the responsibilities that you used to have and the stuff that's always ongoing. And I feel that as a result of juggling those two things, I won't call it your recovery from whatever, It doesn't have to be addiction recovery. But juggling recovery with just life events, just doing your work, just getting every day, 6th house, dutiful, habitual stuff done, going to the gym, managing family, getting work sorted, all of that, it's like leaving you really depleted. It's leaving you sad. It's leaving you in victim mindset, in martyrdom mode. Again, I've talked about that again in recent readings that aren't lunars, so take a look at the playlist below of the lucky dip of my channel if you want to hone in. I just feel like you're feeling really overwhelmed, but actually what you're not seeing is that that's not because you're truly victimized, truly taking on too much, truly damned by everyone, stabbed in the back because people aren't cooperating. It's because you've been organising yourself to get rid of a really big long-term pattern simultaneous to doing the everyday nitty-gritty, and that's a lot for anyone, my dude. So again, with the respite energy, give yourself a break over the next few days, all right? I mean, it's not a long period to say, try and work some rest in there. Like, at most, you're going to miss just over a week out of the year. And I'm not saying take the whole time off, because I know that's really impractical advice aside from anything else. And I actually think there's a good balance here if you maintain your work life, if you maintain your one thing for some of you, throughout the period that you're understanding all of this a bit better and doing these vision boards and getting to grips with it. Like, it's almost like you need that energy because you need to be able to balance all things. I'm really surprised temperance hasn't come up. But you also need to understand that there's a requirement to take pause, because I think if you don't rest on some level, you're going to feel even more like everyone's stabbing you in the back, the world is against you, no one's going to work with you, everything you're juggling is too much, and or you're going to fall back into prior temptations. Now, I don't think you are, but I think if you think that you are, you're more likely to. Do you feel me? So it's that thing of like looking ahead, looking into vision, looking into who you want to be, how you want to rule, and being very clear with everyone around you about those things, rather than going internal, going into victim mindset, going into everything's too much, because you're looking to the past and or the present. And the present's always a tricky one, because you can feel different every 10 minutes, right? So try to, I'm not saying be future focused, it's always good to be mindful, but try to, over these next few days, dream a little bigger, look into the future a bit, in order to step back into the kinds of energy that you normally have. Money-wise, there is an offering coming towards you. I think this may be a promotion for many of you, or just like a financial step up, whether it be inherited, whether it be governmental, whether it be just like, oh, we're paying you back for this thing and you forgot that you were owed it or whatever. But communication about this is going to be interrupted because there's competition for it. If this is a government resource, this is that statistically they have to take care of X many people, and as we know from the UK government, sometimes in order to meet statistical criteria, rules will be changed to miss some people out, right? It's just something they're known to do. I am living proof that they do that, particularly during pandemics. Anyway, sorry, I need to get off my high horse. If it's like a job thing, I think that, like, yes, you're going to be offered this, but you need to be super quick in your response, because you're not the only one. There's going to be lots and lots of people vying for this. I think you're the best candidate for it. I think that communication is going to be very swift, very positive, very onesie, fiery, passionate about having you specifically for the role. However, you need to be like immediate with your response. And if this is something more like securing a home or securing just like a creative bargain or whatever, just know that, again, the swiftness of you saying, oh, excellent, thank you, yes, I'll take it, is important, right? So if you're renewing a contract or you're making a deal of some kind, anything in these pentacles-y kind of realms, go for it as quick as you can. If this is body related, minority, but it will be for some of you who the other stuff doesn't apply, there is a new opportunity here to get some medical intervention, get some help, get some assistance, improve your body in some way, discounted gym membership, all the way over to here you can have this surgery we were delaying. Again, you need to be responsive in quick time, right? And you will be taken care of and it will go okay, but be quick. because you're not the only person involved in this situation, right? Time is money. In fact, if you're seeing this and this hits, pause this reading, go and sort it out, and then come back, comment down below, I sorted it out, and give me an emoji, right? Then I know. And again, I'm not a medical practitioner, I'm not giving medical advice, etc., etc. You do you. Full in reverse, Nine of Pentacles reverse, Page of Cups. This is the love bit. This follows on very well from the last Luna we had. So there's some risky beans here. I feel like somebody, whoever was in this second pile of like someone who's been single for a long time, is kind of reaching out or offering something or like wanting to not be single, but it's a risk, right? They've been in the same mode for a long while. And if this isn't directly pertaining to a single person for you, because it's a general reading, large audience, this is somebody who's been very comfortable in a certain mode for a long time. They'd accrued a lot of progress in a certain sphere or under a certain paradigm. They might be someone who's very soft life, very abundant, very happy with where they are, and there's some need for them to take some kind of risk here. And they're like, I don't know though. So that might be you, in which case I would say lovingly and in the spirit of this deck, get over yourself, do it, you're going to feel better for it. Or it might be another person, in which case this Page of Cups is you coming in to rescue them in this very queenly way, with the power of imagination, with the power of future thinking, of vision boards, of yes, but if you step out of this, look at all the wonderful, delicious things that could happen. Look at this cornucopia of new recipes that could be available to you in your life, right? So take it as you see fit. You may be this person, you may be that person. But if you're the person who's not worried about this stuff, your job over the next few days is to approach the person that you think might be worried and say, my beautiful little fish, they may be a Pisces, they may not. This is what we can dream about together, if only you would take this chance, my dear fellow. Now, if it's flipped, if it's flippity-dippity, and you're the person in a slight panic, I feel what's coming in for you, particularly romantically, is somebody possibly younger than you, possibly more emotionally expressive than you, coming towards you with an offering or a demonstration of a particular dream or ideal that is giving you the confidence to make this change and step out of your stubborn, stagnant little business, all right? I say it with love and benevolence, and I love the Nine of Pentacles energy when she's upright, but when she's backwards, my dude, this is not serving you or anyone around you. It is stuck to carry on in the same mode for too long, even when that mode is somehow profitable for us. So I think like when this person comes in, whoever they are, take it as your sign from spirit as well as this reading. There needs to be a change here. I'm hearing there needs to be a change, my son. It's very much the voice of this deck. But yeah, it's just like, you can do this. You can do something risky to get out of your comfort zone and take the next step out of what may seem to be more secure, but actually is a way of, again, procrastinating, staying in the same energy, juggling stuff back and forth so you don't really have to move. You may have been in a time where you've done a lot of like note taking or small scale tasks rather than the big stuff that aligns with your values that you want to concentrate on. And this person is coming in for you, not just to be romantic and magical and lovely and imaginative as the Page of Cups is, but also to offer a perspective of, listen, if you want all these incredible, spectacular, glittering things, you have to move, and you have to make bigger movements than just, oh, this needs cleaning, this needs filing, this needs doing with this thing. For some, if the love reading isn't hitting, this could be a kid, your kid or someone else's, coming in with a statement or a bit of play that gives you a perspective on this and helps you to move forward out of, I want to say, a period of stagnancy that you didn't recognize as stagnancy because it felt good at the time. But it's time to move forward now. I think this whole month has been about reevaluating, self-empowering, and breaking away from those who don't have your best interests at heart, or those who are kind of jeering on the sidelines. I'm getting the There's a lot of like courtly stuff in this one, perhaps because of the deck, but I'm getting in A Knight's Tale where all the people watching are like jeering and shouting shit at Heath Ledger. It's that like energy of the people you've had to deal with, and it's almost like this Page of Cups is your Shannon Sossaman coming in her beautiful outfits to lend you a new perspective on why it is that you're doing what you're doing, and remind you like, oh, I can do all this. This is cool. I can win this, right? So yeah, I hope that was useful to you. Please let me know in the comments if it was. Please like, subscribe, ding the dong, thank you kindly. If you want to book with me privately for something more specific, the link is down below. Equally, if you'd like to buy me a coffee as an energy exchange for this reading in a true Two of Pentacles way, then that's very appreciated, and there is a PayPal link in the description. But if not, I hope that this time is recuperating for you. I hope that you stay in your beautiful, kind, benevolent, magical kind of energy, and that you don't get too distracted by busy work, and instead embrace what it is that's coming in for you swiftly, with clarity, and with complete surrender to who you can become. Take care.